How's it going, everyone? Hope everyone is doing well today. Hope everyone is blessed. I am so glad that you've joined me today. This is Coach Cookie, your life and relationship coach. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Rising Higher. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your favorite drink. Let's sit down, let's talk for a little bit. We're just going to do a little chit chat about life. We're going to chit chat about relationships. Or I'm going to give you some snippets for success to not only help you to survive, but to help you thrive. Now, in today's episode, I want to focus on how the narcissist is created. Yes, I know it, but we need to talk about it, how the narcissist is created. We're going to talk about that dusty, crusty, nasty narcissist. But before we do that, let's review last week's episode titled The Epidemic of Narcissistic Abuse. Now, in last week's episode, we learned that there are people walking around with a false exterior who will tell people that you're crazy, that you're abusive, that you're manipulative, you're a liar. And the main purpose for these lies is to literally destroy your reputation and anything good that you have going on for yourself. These people believe that they're entitled to do whatever they want, whether they have earned it or not, and they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want and destroy you. If you need a better understanding of this epidemic, please go back and check out the entire episode. Now, today I'm going to change the order of the show a little bit and do keeping it real first, because Cookie's commentary is going to be an activity that goes with the topic for today. And I want to do the activity just before discussing the topic of the day. So now that I have everybody thoroughly confused and no one knows what I'm talking about, with that being said, the question of the day on keeping it real comes from Tiffany. And Tiffany asked, "Hey, Coach Cookie, I've been in a relationship with this guy for a little over a year. I'm not sure if I should stay in the relationship. What are some signs that I need to look for to let me know when it's time for me to move on?" Okay, so first of all, let me just say this. I can tell that you're not in a good place, because if you were, you wouldn't be asking this question. More than likely, you're thinking that this relationship may not be good for you, or you may be questioning if it's going to last. Believe it or not, I've been in this space. Had this experience on this topic, and I'm going to give you some clues to let you know when it's time for you to move on. So Tiffany, if you're walking around and you're an emotional wreck because you're constantly on eggshells because you don't feel comfortable being yourself, I have to confess, I've been there, done that. And what is going to happen is that you're going to find yourself in a place where you're mentally and emotionally exhausted to the point where you're not yourself and you're just going through the motions to get through the day. Take time and listen to your friends and family, because they're going to be the first ones who notice it before you will. You know, they're going to come around and say stuff like, "Girl, why did you say that? Girl, why are you looking like that? Why are you acting like you're depressed? What's wrong, girl? How come you're not getting your hair and your nails done? Girl, I can't believe you got on yellow shoes." So basically, if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're not yourself and you're acting like somebody else, remember, you should never have to change yourself into somebody that you're not. Okay, a few other cute clues would be that you will start to question where you stand in the relationship and where's the relationship going. If you ask yourself that over and over again, that's a big clue. Another clue is you will start to be annoyed when this person comes around. I mean, like, you're just like dreading when you see this person, and the fire and the excitement is gone. Let me tell you one thing that I would like for you to do. Okay? Take a test for me to determine if you're over this person. Go out with your friends without your boyfriend and see what happens. If you laugh, joke around, you just start kicking it with your friends, and you had so much fun, you start thinking to yourself, "Oh my God, I am so glad I got away from him for the night so I can really be to myself and really be myself and have fun and kick it with my friends." Now, think about this. Did you miss him, and did you wish he was there with you? If you answered no to the last question, it may be time for you to think about it, and if it's time for you to move on, my sister girl. Okay? Now, today on Cookie's Commentary, I have an activity that I want you to do that is going to be in line with the topic for today. I want everyone to stop this video and go get a piece of paper and a pencil or pen to write with, okay? Okay, great. Everyone has something to write with? I want everyone to write down these two videos. The first video is called The Cupcake Kid Gets His Cupcakes. And the second video is called Dad Shows How to Deal with Child's Tantrum. Again, the first video is called The Cupcake Kid Gets His Cupcakes. And the second video is called Dad Shows How to Deal with Child's Tantrum. So I need for you guys to go to YouTube and go to the search bar, type the videos in. Of course, type in one video at a time, and then I need for you to watch them. I think the videos are like 6 minutes long. When you finish with the video, I then want you to come back so we can discuss both videos. Make sure you watch both videos so you'll understand and be able to follow the discussion based on the topic for today. Okay, now stop this episode and go watch both videos from the beginning to the end. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, let's get into the topic of the day, how the narcissist is created. Let's start out by discussing the first video, The Cupcake Kid Gets His Cupcakes. Now, my thoughts on this is that this child is living in a toxic household or is exposed to a toxic environment. Coach Cookie, you're coming off very powerful. You're coming off really strong right now. Yes, I am. And I'm going to keep it real because we have to really understand and know how the narcissist is created. Okay. Now, of course, I don't know the mother of this child or anything, but this is a really good example of how the narcissist is created. Okay. And I say that because this child has picked up on toxic characteristics at such a young age to the point where he's actually mimicking what he's learned when he's talking to his mother. Let me dissect this a little bit further, okay? The first big thing that I notice is that he calls his mother by her first name, Linda. Now, I know this is going to be a big topic here, but let me say this before I really get into it. Parents, you're going to do what feels comfortable for you and your child in your household. I get it. But in my experience with doing coaching, there are some drawbacks from dropping the mom and dad titles. With the titles of mom and dad, there's like an authority level that makes the child know and respects where they are in the relationship. You're the child, I'm the mother, I'm the parent. But if the title is dropped, the child will feel like they can treat you differently and they have no respect for you. And they feel like they're pretty much on the same level. Now, let me tell you what I see and what this means when I see this video, The Cupcake Kid. This means that this child feels like he is on the same level as his mother, or instead of being the child, he feels like they're friends. What this small 3-year-old child is telling his mother is that I don't respect you and I would never listen to anything that you have to say. That's what he's learning. Then we have an adult that is supposed to be an authority figure listening and debating with a 3-year-old child. I could not believe that this little 3-year-old child is questioning and disrespecting an authority figure and the mother is allowing it to happen. Now, I just want you all to imagine and think about when you look at it. That's not what you think of when you look at it. Most people don't think of it like that. But just think, if this pattern continues on until adulthood, what is that going to constitute? Let me tell you guys something. This should never happen at any age where you feel like you can disrespect your mother or your father or any other authority figure. Let me tell you guys a true story. I was 15 years old and I noticed that some of my friends called their parents by their first name. Now, I was raised up in the 70s, and when I was coming up, we all sat at the dinner table together at the same time to eat dinner. And we weren't allowed to leave the dinner table unless you had permission to leave the table. One night at the dinner table, I was talking to my mother and I said to her, Laverne, could you pass me the butter? My mother got up out of her seat and she smashed the butter in my face. And I mean, I had butter everywhere. Now, remember, I'm at the dinner table and you don't get to leave the dinner table unless you ask to be dismissed from the dinner table. Now, I was the oldest out of all of my sisters and brothers. Okay. And they were dropping forks and spoons on the floor so they could act like they were picking them up so they could be under the table laughing. Because, child, let me tell you, you would dare not laugh and joke at the dinner table while somebody else is being disciplined. that would be a no-no. That means you getting in trouble too. So there I sit, Miss Diva Queen of the 70s, with butter all in my hair, butter all in my face, in my clothes, in my eyelashes. So I had to pick up my feelings off the floor, and I had to make sure when I picked my feelings up, I didn't have no attitude problem, because I couldn't say anything to my mother with an attitude problem, believe me or mine. I then looked at my mother and I said, Mama, may I please be excused from the dinner table so I can clean up? My mother looked at me and she said, yes, that's right. It's Mama. And don't you forget it. And yes, you may be excused from the dinner table. What my mother was really telling me and what she was really teaching me is like, girl, don't come to me like that and disrespect me. I am your mother. I'm not your road dog. I'm not your ace coon boon. I'm not your girlfriend. I don't kick it with you and I don't party with you like that. She had to get me right back on track and snap me right back into reality. And parents, that's what we need to do with our children. We need to get our children and snap them back and get them back on track and get them in order so they will respect you. When we don't get the children back on track to respect you, then how do you expect them to respect their teachers in school? When they become adults, they can't keep a job because they can't respect their bosses. I want my listeners to understand this is where the problem starts. Now, what was really shocking to me about this cupcake video was the amount of likes that this child received on this video. This is telling me that our society is rewarding this type of behavior trait. Not only did he get millions and millions of likes, but he was invited to the Ellen DeGeneres show on public television to be recognized. I was just I just was completely and totally outdone. I was just like, I can't believe this. During the recognition, the boy received a stage full of cupcakes. Now, the video that I asked you guys to watch, the mother was telling him he didn't deserve to have any cupcakes. No, you don't get to have any cupcakes for behaving like that. But now he on stage and he's got a stage full of cupcakes. Then the mother was awarded with a gift certificate for a weekend spa and $10,000 in cash. Really? Really? For not being an authority figure, you're going to get a weekend spa and a $10,000 in cash. This is really sad that our society has come to this, and in reality, I don't even think people realize how damaging this is to the child and their development. This child has been put on a pedestal and elevated for disrespecting and talking back to his mother. This child being elevated in this manner is teaching him there's nothing wrong with blaming others. You don't have to take responsibility for your actions. Oh, and by the way, you can talk to your mother any kind of way you want to. I hate to tell you guys, I know you all are thinking, oh, he's only 3, he's so cute. No, this is a good example of how our society is going wrong and how we are damaging our children. Parents, make sure your child receives proper nurturing and love. So in return, they will naturally respect their parents as well as authority figures. A really good example of how this is done is in the second video that I asked you to watch. The second video shows a really good example of how a parent teaches the child that her or his behavior is inappropriate and not the proper way to behave when you can't get your way. This video is reminding the child, I'm the parent and you're the child, and you can't run me, so don't even try it. No matter what you do, you can't have your way if I say you can't have it. I know this process is work. Yes, it's work. And a lot of parents don't want to be involved in that and doing that. But this is something that we have to do as parents. We have to make sure we're nurturing our children. We have to make sure that we're not holding a position of authority and allowing the child to do whatever they want when they want without any guidance, believe it or not. But this is the beginning stages of how the narcissist is created. So as a result, what happened is that our society has developed an entire generation of crippled, defective shells masquerading as people that are incapable of love or ever being happy. In order to break this cycle, parents need to stop teaching our children the value of things and start teaching them the value of people. As parents, we need to stop letting our children believe that the world owes them something. The world doesn't owe anybody anything. We must stop giving them every single thing that they want. And we need to stop rewarding selfish, self-absorbed behavior. We need to stop ignoring our children. We have to take time to be with them and let them know we love them. We must teach our children love and the value of life. It's important to be sensitive and responsive to our children in order to help our child build a positive, healthy relationship together. Part of parenting is understanding your child's needs at that moment and providing that in an effective way. Believe it or not, but when we put in the work and we create a strong emotional bond with our children, they feel safe to explore, learn, and relate to their parents and adults and in a positive, respectful manner. This is how we stop creating the narcissist. I know this is a very difficult topic, but I hope you've learned something from this message today. If you're struggling when it comes to dealing with your children disrespecting you or knowing how to deal with them, let's talk about it. Contact me at heycoachcookie@gmail.com and see if you could benefit from coaching. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic and share your experiences. Remember, it will help other people who may be going through this, and I'm sure they would love to hear from you as well. Also, I want to be able to bring content that meets your needs. So if you have any questions that you would like for me to answer, or if you have a topic that you would like for me to do an episode on, please let me know. To all my podcast listeners, if you love what you hear, please review on your favorite platform and don't forget to share with others. To my YouTube listeners, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share. This is Coach Cookie reminding you to love yourself first as we rise higher together. Talk to you soon.